Good morning. It is 7 o'clock a.m. on Tuesday, January 22nd, 2019. I'm Christiana Ellis, and I've been up for an hour or so poking around because I got an email about paid time off balance and cashing out and blah, 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 blah. Ordinary day job work stuff that I felt like wasn't actually urgent, but for some whatever reason, I felt like I needed to do that right away. Anyway, here I am, and I blew through all of my weekend subject matter yesterday, and now I got nothing. That's not true. I went and we had sushi for dinner last night, and it was pretty good. And what was my point with that? It is still early. That reminds me, I thought that I set some hot water boiling in my kettle a while ago, and I'm realizing now that it never finished, and the kettle might not have been plugged in. Oh well. I yesterday in the just internet newsosphere had a couple of things going on. I talked yesterday a little bit about the whole thing with the teens and in DC and that whole mess. And it's a little dismaying now to, in addition to how awful the event was, it's a little dismaying now to see the strength of the pushback against people wanting to try to say, oh yeah, these kids did nothing wrong. And I'm like, no, that's not true. Now, I mean, could it have been worse? Yeah, of course. Is it a little bit more complicated than it seemed originally? Yeah. But anyway, yeah, so that's all kind of dismaying and disheartening. But on the upside, there was that whole thing yesterday where okay. Before I tell you I didn't watch any of it, I should tell you what I'm actually talking about. There was apparently yesterday, actually over the weekend, a guy doing a stream. So the background for this is that there's a trans-friendly charity in the UK called Mermaids, and due to some assholes lying about it, it lost its funding. And that people were already in the process of circulating petitions to try to get it back. But a guy, a streamer, decided, you know what, I'm going to do a charity stream of playing Donkey Kong 64 on stream. And I don't remember if the original target was 48 hours, but it hit 48 hours and kept going, where all the charity proceeds, all the donations would go to benefit this charity. And I think that was awesome already. But then it just ballooned, and it ended up raising more than $300,000. And all sorts of big people, including this everyone's new fave AOC, House of Representatives, Alexandria, I want to say Ocasio-Cortez. I'm suddenly remembering, you've certainly seen it printed a lot, but anyway, she called in was on the stream, and so that was just a big fun, nice little news story that had just the teeniest little bit of this is despite the jerks that made this charity lose their funding in the first place, which would be a sad story. But this part is the happy story, and that's nice. And so, ups and downs, man, ups and downs. I had intended to, I've let myself in the last week or so slide on a number of things that I sort of want to be doing more in order to feel like I'm being more productive, like exercising, working on writing stuff. And I've kind of not been doing those things. And at the very least, what I have been doing is making sure I'm getting enough sleep. I kind of shifted my priority to that, after getting sick, and so I've been doing that at least. But it seems like I just can't manage to do more than one thing at a time, even when one of those things is just make sure I get enough sleep, and that apparently means I get nothing else done. Anyway, I don't want to be too hard on myself, but I think I can also look and recognize, I should be working more on some of these other creative projects. I guess, it's interesting. I think, actually, I'm just thinking about this now. I'm just realizing I have the weird thing on my glasses frame. It's like, is it always looked like that? I don't know. Where was I before I got distracted by a weird thing on my glasses? I find that I give myself a hard time by whatever I do work on. I dismiss that. And I tend to only focus on the things that I haven't done in order to reinforce my feelings that I'm unproductive. Now, yeah, so I think what I tend to do is overcommit myself with too many projects, and then whichever ones I'm not finding time to work on, I tell myself that's I'm lazy and unproductive. Yeah, I think all that's true, and yet I could be doing more, and especially I also need to be exercising. So priorities. So in the meantime, I will talk to you all tomorrow for 5 more minutes.